Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new, my name is Sasha. I love reviewing indie eyeshadow palettes. I do a lot of palette reviews, unboxings, and hauls. So if you guys are into that, make sure to subscribe to my channel because I love to have you guys here. And for this video, it's going to be not an indie palette review, but actually a high-end palette review. So it's been a while since I reviewed a high-end palette in this channel, but I'm going to be reviewing, or actually this is not going to be a review because it's going to be mostly a first impressions. Because I feel like doing 2 looks is not enough. In my channel I love doing multiple eye looks, but because I just had like a busy weekend, I was away for like a little semi vacation, but I just want to do a first impression because I just want to play around with this palette. So this is a Natasha Denona Yucca palette, and this retails for $69. And Natasha Denona, I'm actually a big fan of Natasha Denona, but the only thing, her palettes are more on the wearable side. And I have several of her Midi palettes. I think I have about like 5 of them. And I did some comparison swatches. The only thing, I don't have the Midi Gold palette. That's the one palette I would have loved to have. I know she just brought it back like not that long ago, but during that time I couldn't get it. So I'm so sad I had to miss out on that. But at least she brought out this one because this kind of really used my FOMO of the gold palette a little bit. But I did a swatches earlier, so I gotta say, with these swatches, I did have to build them up like quite a bit because they weren't like super pigmented. Like the formula felt fine, besides like maybe about 2 shades I would say I feel kind of iffy about. So I'm gonna be testing out those shades, of course. But the shimmers, comparing to all her other Midi palettes that I have, I compared some swatches from the Retro palette, from the Glam palette, and the Midi Gold. I have the Midi Gold though, so I'm really happy to have the Midi Gold. But in comparison with the Midi Gold, with this one, the shimmers on this one is very, very sparkly. Especially with these first 2 shades. These are the shimmers right here. These first 2 shades are really the sparkliest from this palette. So there's 2 mattes here that are cream to powder, which I'm used to. So they're gonna give a little bit like a texture. They're usually like very easy to work with, easy to blend out. The cream to powder mattes, those are fine. But the 2 shades that I feel kind of iffy about, it was a shade Acacia, this one, this murky little yellow, and then the shade Willow. I don't know, I had to like build up all these swatches, of course, like all of them, so they weren't super pigmented, but those are like the only 2 shades I feel like I had to like make it like completely even. So I'm going to be trying to test out those shades, and yeah, let's get right into it. So I'm going to use that shade right away, the Acacia shade. So even though it patched like not completely even, I'm still going to test it out, of course, because I want to see if it performs well. Because sometimes the swatches, sometimes it's a different story once you apply them. So I'm going to use the Acacia shade, and I'm just going to, yeah, it looks like it kind of stays on. Like this one, you have to blend it out. So maybe you could go with the light hand, but yeah, when I swatched it, you have to like completely make it even. I think you're able to blend it out, but it kind of stays on in certain spots. So I think you do have to work with this one. It's not bad. All of these masks, when I swatch all these shades, the shimmers and the mattes, they all feel soft, but they are on the thinner formula. I mean, that's what Natasha Denona formula is like. It's usually thin and soft. So I'm just working with this real quick, just deepening up this crease area. And I think I'm gonna lighten it up with the shade. I want to get the shade Camel. I'm gonna put it in my inner corner almost. And I'm just gonna put it here. I'm just gonna do like kind of fast looks. This one's like a pastel formula, so it's not super pigmented. You have to build this one up, and as long as I'm able to use it, then I'm fine with that. But I think in the inner corner, it might be lacking on the inner corner. It might fade away because it is very powdery, this shade. So it kind of turned greenish in a combination with the Acacia shade, so I like that. The thing I did notice about this palette, it doesn't have a lot of depth, so that's the thing. I'm going to try to deepen it up with the shade Caladia. I think a lot of these names they're plat names, so I might be pronouncing them wrong, so I'm sorry, but I'm going to use this shade right here that I just poked. Oh, I just poked it really bad. Guys, okay. Well, I'm just gonna get that little corner then. Just soften it up. This shade is probably one of the darkest shades that you could probably build up. Yeah, this is a cream to powder shade, so it's really easy to blend this one. Ooh, that's a very greeny, foresty green shade. Ooh. Yeah, you guys have to be careful. So let me just clean my brush and just get the other shade, the cassia shade, and just brush that away. Okay. I'll just blend it away a little bit, the cassia shade, and just brush it on top. All right, so that's the thing about Natasha Denona formula. It's really easy to work with. At least, I mean, for me it is. It's like really easy to use. So we're gonna use the shimmers. Normally I use glitter glue. It does make a difference, but I'm not gonna use glitter glue this time. I know my voice. Because I just came back from vacation, so I think I feel a little bit happier. So you guys may see probably, yeah, I feel happier. I guess I just needed that break. And I'm just gonna use this shimmer right here. So out of all the shimmers, this is probably the one that's not as sparkly. It leans a little bit satiny. I mean, it's still kind of sparkly, but it just leans more satiny. The last shade I have on, I have right here. I mean, yeah. So I'm just gonna build this shade up, and I'm not using glitter glue, so I'm just gonna put it in between the two shades. Yeah, so I'm not really expecting much for this shade because it's not gonna be as shiny as other shades, as sparkly. Yeah, I just wanted to use it because usually I won't normally use this shade. So I think this will be the most wearable shimmer out of the rest because it's not as sparkly, but it performs well. So I'm just gonna use this shimmer right here, the Komorambi. Oh my gosh, I'm pronouncing these names wrong, so I'm sorry. I'm gonna use my pinky. This one's super sparkly, so I'm just gonna put it in the middle, add more impact. So I'm not doing like a halo look, but this is almost like a halo look. So I didn't mean to, but I'm just gonna go like that. Yeah, just a little bit sparkle effect. I'll probably use the same shade in the inner corner. Okay, well, I'm just gonna pretty much use the same shade. I'm gonna use the Acacia shade and just deepen it up with the shade Calathea. So I'm gonna use the same shades I use in the top practically. And I'm just gonna put it on the bottom. So this look is going to be more an army kind of eye look. Armor green, super soft. And I'm going to get the Camo shade, that yellow shade. Just build that shade up. Oh my gosh. I always get a little... Okay, I'm going to get that Camo shade and just build it up right here and just connect this in the inner part. So this shade is nice, but it is very pastel-like. So I'm able to build it up, but it doesn't like pop like a neon. So I think it's fine. Alright, then I'm just building it up right here. Just deepening it up this in my crease area. Okay, and then just... Okay. Alright, so this is the eye look. It's super green. It's like, it reminds me of a cactus. So Yucca... it's a plant. I haven't even looked at the plant, but I looked up the pronunciation of it. But you guys, I know it's a plant though, based on the definition. But let's do the left side now. So the left side, I kind of want to do something cool tone a little bit. So the purple shade, I love that they added this shade, the LACN shade. It leans a little bit purple. So I want to use that and probably the first shade right here. So purple and greens, they look really good together. So I'm gonna get the shade. Let me see. What do I want to use? Well, I want to use a citrine shade right here. So let me get that shade. I can't help myself with the yellows. I love yellows. I mean, it's not my favorite color, but I've been feeling yellow. You know, since spring started, I've been feeling all the yellows. I think with this, I'm gonna use this as my outer transition. Wow, that's a nice yellow. So I'm just putting it up here. Really easy to work with. It was like super easy. So I know these shades are not super pigmented. It has you swatch them, but they're applying really nicely. You can always build up the shades too, so it's better on the eyes than actually swatching it. So that's a nice yellow. Well, do I want to use greens? No, actually I'm not going to be able to use the oranges. I just want to do something dark a little bit. Okay, let me get that flax shade right here. That darkish kind of brown shade, cocoa brown. Hopefully it applies pretty dark on my crease area. Okay, well, that shade's really dark. Yeah, it's really dark, so just what I like. And I'm just gonna blend it. Man, that shade's really pigmented. And I want to put it kind of in my lash line and just slowly build this shade. And I think I'm gonna add another different shade like in this part. So I think I will do, let me get that shade Fushi. I didn't think I was gonna use an orange, but this is the cream to powder formula. So I'm just gonna put it right here. It should be a little bit darker than the transition. And we're just gonna blend. This one I have to like keep digging for this one. It's not as doesn't pick up well as well has the other shade, this cream to powder shade right here, the Calathea from earlier. So this one I have to kind of dig a little. So yeah, the yellows, they look kind of similar between the citrine and fuchsia, but probably because this one's not as pigmented. So I'm just gonna build that up and just, yeah, just like the, it's gonna blend that brown. Just gonna blend that brown. So it's really easy to blend. I'm just gonna get this Elysian shade right here, and I'm just gonna put it all over my lid, and I'm gonna add more of a sparkle effect with that first shade right here. So I think I'll make it look really nice, more sparkle, more of a contrast between the two shades. Ooh, yeah, this one's like purplish silver, and I'm not using glitter glue, so these shades are really soft. This one I'm not tapping out the excess, so it's going everywhere. I love using glitter glue because of tackiness, so the shimmers don't go everywhere, but this one, it's going everywhere. It's not falling into my face, but it's kind of dusting away, as in just going in the air. Yeah, I love how cool tone it looks. Like, it's so different. Like, this one's more bright, this one's more cool tone. We're gonna make it look even more special. I'm gonna get the Planticia shade, and normally I would get my finger but yeah, my nails, I'm still not used to it, so I don't want to mess up. I mean, yeah, like going in on my lid. So I'm just gonna put this on top right here. Wow, look at that. Oh, that's so bright. This is the brightest special shimmer. It's like a duochrome. It's a beautiful duochrome. And I'm gonna do like a little line right here. I love doing that, guys. I love that. Okay, and I'm just adding a little more, and I'm actually gonna use that shade and put it right here too, in my inner corner as well, while I'm at it. So I'll probably deepen it up a little bit. The flax shade, I'm gonna deepen it up just a little bit, not too much, because this shade could go really deep, and I'm just gonna put it right here in the corner, just like that. I go over that shimmer, go on my lash line a little bit. Okay, so I know I said that you can't get a lot of depth with this palette based on the swatches, but I think so far I'm satisfied the depth level I can get. It's not like super like deep, like you can do dramatic looks. So yeah, this palette is supposed to be meant to be a wearable look for every day. It's supposed to be a summer everyday palette. On the bottom, we'll do a little pop of color. We'll use the orange. So let me get the Fuchsia shade. See how it applies on the bottom? Because it didn't really show up on the top. So let's see how it looks on the bottom. So on the bottom it's showing up, but also it looks a little bit similar next to the citrine shade. While on top, but maybe on its own it'll show up better. It'll just blending in with the other shades I was using, I guess. So it's showing up. So let me get that Isia shade right here. I don't think I used it, so let me just get that shade and put it right here. And then yeah, this one's a little bit warmer. I'm just gonna use the same shade, the flax shade. I don't want to make it look too crazy with my look, so I'm gonna get a little bit of that. This shade is really pigmented, so I'm just gonna practically connect that and just spread it out. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So I think I did 2 different looks, and I'm just gonna put some eyeliner and some lashes, and I'm gonna give you guys my first thoughts about this palette, like what I think about it so far. But right, so right here's the finished looks. Super green look and a super cool tone, but very wearable look. The lashes I'm wearing, I'm so in love. They're my first time using Ione lashes. I found them at Burlington. I'll show you guys the set. So I found these lashes at Burlington. They were only $8.99. They're my first time ever like putting on Ione lashes, because usually you find them at Dollar Tree, but I can never find them besides the single lashes ones. And they're really comfortable to wear. So I got a set of a bunch of sets. So I'm not sure which one it is, but it's from the Marble Lewis Eyes, and it's the one right here. I love them. So pretty. They were really easy to put on, and I love the band. Very comfortable to wear. So I'm so happy that I found these lashes. Okay, well anyways, for the gel liner, you guys can see I use a pop of color gel liner on this side. I use my Mara Cosmetics lime shade, and on the left side I use a more of a darker shade. I use my Araceli Beauty in the shade Olive. Since this is more bright and this is more dark, I want to keep it that way. So I really love the look. More cool tone, dark look. You got more of the sparkle effect on this one. It's more dramatic, the sparkle too. They use the shimmer right here. It's like a beautiful duochrome shade. Love that shade. Super green look. I used the satin kind of shimmer light with the pop of shimmer of the sparkly one from this second shade right here. So I used these 2 shimmers, and then on this side it was these 2 shimmers right there. So I'm really happy with these 2 looks. And formula wise, I think everything worked great besides this one, the shade Acacia. That was the only one that like I put it on and you guys seen that it kind of like was staying on, but you could just blend it away. Like it doesn't really completely stay there, but I still need to test out this palette a few more times, of course. I didn't get to play around with the oranges so much. I did play with it a little bit, but you could do also like orangey looks, orange green, orange yellows, make it super warm. But yeah, this is supposed to be like a wearable palette, but I just love the shimmers to this one. The shimmers are really great. They're very sparkly. Besides this one, it's more of a wearable shimmer for every day. But all the other ones are super pretty. This one, it's not as like super sparkly, but it's still pretty enough to wear. You guys can see it's like purplish cool tone. Ooh, I love it. I love it. And then that brown, actually you could build it up really nicely with this one. So this is going to be one of the darker shades. That one I wasn't able to use, but when I swatched it, it didn't look as dark, but maybe you could build it up on the end of the crease area, like the V area. So hopefully, I'm going to play around with the yellows and greens a little bit more. So far my first impressions, I am enjoying this palette. The mattes, all the other mattes besides that one shade, yeah, all the other mattes besides that one shade was really easy to work with. The shimmers, no complaints about the shimmers. I love the shimmers, even though this one too, I'll probably not use it as much by itself. I just need a little bit extra sparkle using one of these shimmers. Oh, this is one of the most beautiful shimmers in this palette too, and I didn't even get to use it. It's like really green, but it's very sparkly in that one. That one's like a metallic kind of shimmer, but it's a sparkle metallic shimmer, so I can't wait to use that one. But overall, guys, that's all I have to say about this palette. I'm not gonna like recommend a palette that I still need to test out a few more times. If you have other Natasha Denona palettes, or even other palettes that have similar color stories, I know I had just recently reviewed the Nomad Cosmetics, the Oka Van Gogh Safari palette. That one has a similar color story, but the mattes, I love the mattes in that one. That one is so easy to work with. The Natasha Denona, you have to be more familiar with Natasha Denona formula, like especially with the cream to powder formula. Some people might not be used to that, but the Nomad Cosmetics formula on that palette is really easy. But the shimmers, they only have 3 good shimmers in that one. But for this one, I think all the shimmers are really great. I know there's other palettes that are out there, like the Oden's Eye one. I don't have that one. I'm thinking of ordering it. I'm not sure, but I wish I could compare it because I do a lot of indie palette reviews. But this one, I'm not complaining that I have it. It's probably my most favorite Natasha Denona palette. Yeah, I think it is. That's so surprising because this is my newest Natasha Denona palette. The last one I was like somewhat new. The Midi one is the Pastel one. So that's been a while since I bought a Midi palette. But if you have a huge Natasha Denona collection, I say I don't have the Midi gold compared to swatches too, but I hope there's videos out there that can compare those swatches with this one, because this one reminds me a little bit of the gold palette, which I wish I still have. But this one at least I'm very happy to have, because it kind of released my FOMO that I missed out on a Midi gold palette. But shimmer, they're really sparkly in comparison with her past palettes, so I'm really happy for that, because I'm such an indie palette, like indie palette or indie eyeshadow lover, because they do really good and sparkly shifty shimmers. I love special shimmers, that's the reason why. But this one, I'm not complaining about it. But you guys gotta let me know your thoughts. Are you guys gonna pick this up? Are you guys gonna wait a little, shop your stash? I think maybe you could dupe out the palettes, especially if you have a lot of singles. If you want to get those special sparkly shades right here, like these two. Oh, I think you could probably dupe it if you have a huge single collection, or if you don't have these tones. But I hope you guys find this video helpful, even though it's just 2 eye looks. I really enjoyed these 2 eye looks that I did, but that's gonna be it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys all so much, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.